it's Steph from Saddle Over the Boards, and today I'm going through the next 10 games in my top 100 for this year. At number 90, I have Paradox, which is a really neat kind of Candy Crush-esque game where as you make paradoxes, which are just lines of different colors and symbols in your little grid, which each player has their own, more come in and fill down just like you would in Candy Crush, but it's so much more than that at the same time. There's a lot of game here, there's really great art, and you have a lot of different decisions that you can make turn to turn. It's a really fun one. At 89, I have Quadropolis, which is a city building game. You're trying to just get as many points as you can by best building your city. All the different tiles have different scoring ways that they score, and some in like promos and expansions that I think I have in here also have different scoring objectives. Like they'll just score based on how many of something you have, or if you have one of something in each area of your grid. So again, another one that's like really variable, changes every time, but a lot of decisions and a lot of really good gameplay. At number 88, I have Pie Town, which you have your workers are dice and you're trying to upgrade them, so you want to get them to higher numbers so that way they can do more actions when you're placing them out. You can spy on other people. You are in a pie baking competition and you can spy on other people to try and see what kind of pie that they're baking. But even if you don't do that, you can still do really well in the game even if you don't know what other people are doing, because you're just trying to do your secret recipe as well as other combinations of apple pies and things like that so that you can get the most points. And again, you're just placing your workers out to like gather your fruits and bake your pies and upgrade your kitchen, different things like that. At number 87, I have Martian Dice, nice little small box here. This is a push your luck game where you are just you're an alien and you're rolling for death rays and you're trying to collect chickens and humans and cows that you're abducting. But if there's too many tanks, which is basically a bad thing because it's people attacking the alien ship, then you completely bust and you won't get to keep the points that you got. But like I said, it's just push your luck, and the first person to a certain number of points wins. So you really want to make sure that you're banking your points when you can so that you don't bust and lose out on those points, because it's really easy to fall really far behind in that one. At number 86, I have Brass Empire, which is a steampunk deck building game. It's a really, really solid deck builder. You have different factions, and each one has their own kind of unique abilities. In addition to, you can also buy cards from generic as well as all different factions and use all of those abilities, but you all have your own little set of things that only you can do, cards that only you start with. There's also a Brass Empire New Canton, which is a campaign of the same game, which is a really cool way to do deck building, I think. So this one's a really, really good one that I like a lot. If you like deck building, definitely check it out. At number 85, I have Big Dig, which is a roll and write game. This is one that I actually did a review on this year, I believe. Or I should say flip and write game. So you flip over different cards, which will give you shapes that you can draw into your little grid. And you're basically trying to get from top to bottom, but you're also trying to do different objectives, whether it's filling in a certain number of spots in a certain area, or connecting certain things to other things, or just filling in certain spots to get more points off of that. But it's a really simple but really, really approachable and really good flip and write game if you're into that genre, which is one of my favorites. 84, I have Burke's Gambit, which is a game I haven't gotten to play a lot more recently for obvious reasons. This is a social deduction game, so you do need a slightly bigger group for this. But I really like this one. You all have different roles and abilities that are associated with that, and you're basically trying to kill people off if you think that they are the bad guys. But you also want to make sure that you get rid of the person who you think has a alien inside of them. But even if you are that person and you're a good guy, you can still win even if they decide to vote you off the ship. But the rules are really variable, and I really like the mechanic of the dice to kind of give you your actions each turn. It's a really solid social deduction game. Again, I wish I had more opportunities to play it, but especially now it's a little bit more difficult, but I hope to play it maybe sometime next year. At 83, I have Hues and Cues, which is another game that I did do a review on this year, and I really, really enjoyed it. I played this one actually virtually a bunch, which is a little bit difficult to set up, but if you do have the capacity, it's really fun, whether it's in person or virtual. But you just have a big grid of all different colors. I think there's 480 or something like that. And when it's your turn to give a clue, you're giving clues to other players to guess, like, okay, you have to guess this specific color, but you have to give them, obviously, one word and two word clues, and obviously they can't just be like, it's blue. You have to give kind of obscure or abstract clues to get them to guess the color that you want. It's really, really easy. I've played this with a lot of people who are not as much gamers as I am, and they thought it was really, really good. So I definitely think this is an approachable one, great for a family. And it's great with the more people that you have. I think it plays up to 10, but it's at 5 it really starts to soar, and then more people is just a lot of fun. So definitely recommend that one. You can pick that one up at Target, I think, so it's pretty accessible as well. At number 82, I have Heroes Want It, which is a really thematic superhero game. You are a superhero, and you're doing a lot of hand management to try and play your best skills at the best time to kind of walk around the board and defeat all the bad guys and the villains. And you're not really working together with the other players, but I think there is a variant or maybe another way where everybody can lose. So you kind of are trying to make sure that the villain gets defeated, but you also want to make sure that you have the most points because it's not cooperative. But it's got a lot of really silly superheroes because you basically make a superhero with a top and a bottom, and they have a lot of silly catchphrases and silly powers and things like that. So it's really funny. It's a really thematic game. And if you like superheroes but maybe don't like IP games, because there's a lot out there that are harder to get into for IP-based things, then this is a really good one for superhero-esque games. And then finally on this set of the list, at number 81, I have Broom Service, where you're a witch trying to collect ingredients to create potions so that you can, I think, drive away bad weather. It's really, really cute. There's little witchy pieces as well. It's adorable. It's really another one that's really approachable. I've played this with a lot of people who don't really game as much as I do either, but it's really simple. But again, another one where you have a lot of decisions, a lot of space for choice, and every game is very different, especially if you have a couple of the different promo tiles and things like that to have a little bit more options. But even without that, you have a lot of options. The game is varied every time you play it, and the theme is adorable. Again, another one that's great for kind of the spooky season if you like Halloween themed games, things like that. But even without that, it's great all year round. So that was 90 to 81, and I'll be back for more next time. But if in the meantime you want to check out the whole list, that is available on the blog and linked below. Thanks. Happy gaming.